Zippity zoppities.
Zippity zappity zoppity. Like I'm in a Cinderella.
Yeah. What's up? Smash
What up,
Masters are on,
yeah,
baby.
Smash Masters are live. They had a good show this week with Corey Nichols. It was enjoy watching it. I had to mess with him. He did like I was like, why are you flexing, bro?
I heard Stefan's transitioning.
Yeah, what about that? We learned something new. Okay, I get you. I know what you're talking about.
We love The Office.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Stephen, how's the transition going?
Talking about coming out of the closet. I'm just
his new name is Stefan.
So Stephen, how's the R&I going at where you're at? I'm not going to say where you're at, but
being all hush. Nick Prang, what up, Nick Prang?
What's up? We my mind's gone.
Hell yeah, I love it. Perfect.
Like,
That's what we need tonight. Mind gone.
Yeah.
Got a great show. I'm excited about the show. Yeah. Got to talk to Greg. Everybody knows Greg on the show. We got to talk to him a lot at MTE this year for the first time, and had some really good chats. Especially he's best friends with Doug Hillius, and I love the world out of Doug Hillius. So it's really cool getting to hang out and chat.
Yeah, and he reached out to me when which I knew he was close to where my daughter goes to school, and he reached out when we were moving her home for the summer and all that, and started talking about it. And just sounds like Greg's a good guy, and when somebody, when you've got a kid that's off that far from me, somebody that's closer is saying, hey man, if you ever need anything or whatever, just let me know if you can't, get there in time, man. That means the world. What's up, Corey? Matt, what, you redheaded stepchild? Hey, I take offense to that, man.
I ain't got no hair jumps on you. I'm a red bearded stepchild.
I'm such a stepchild that I changed my last name to my stepdaddy.
Oh.
Anyway, so we'll let's go ahead and get Greg on here and get to know him. What's up, brother?
What's up, guys? Thank you, man, for the opportunity, brothers.
Oh, absolutely.
Anytime. So we y'all beat up with memes this week. Oh
yeah, we have. Jesus Christ. Thanks, Biggs, for starting some bullshit.
Yeah, Biggs started it, and I've got to find a clear picture of that, because I actually do want to make a shirt with that. I got to remove the fifth hand, or just leave it in there. We'll see how it goes. But and then Danny had to chime or do his own little thing. That's all right. Danny's got something coming towards him.
He said he's gonna have funny. He said he's gonna have the Kiko van at the tech meetup I'm having. I'm like, he might have to be outside in November in the Kiko van.
The Kiko van is an unmarked 80s style van with no windows in it. It says free ice cream on
Got
the side.
Some candy.
And spray painted, right?
Yeah. Danny's driving it. Anyway.
No, they're funny. Can't make fun of nobody else. You can't laugh at yourself getting made fun of. So it's been fun to see everybody messing with us. They say, how dare you?
Danny's a hoot, man. He's always a solid guy.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of drinks at MTE.
Oh, yeah? He's good for
that. Danny's a great guy. That whole Kiko crew is great, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Love them to death.
So let's get into how you, a little bit of background on you, how you got into PDR, like what you were doing before to kind of lead you into that.
Yeah, well, right out of high school, was really unsure about what I even wanted to do. Obviously, I knew at one time that I wanted to do something involved in vehicles because I love vehicles. So I got my first truck and was working on it, always tinkering around on it. And I'm like, okay, this is what I really enjoy. And so you know how that goes when you're a poor country boy. You don't have nothing else to do besides clean your truck and you live on a dirt road. It's pretty wasted time. And so I got out of high school, went to a little bit of vocational school for auto body, thinking that that's what I wanted to do. I got out of that and started working for one of the best body shops in my area for basic paint body. Worked for him, worked for other shops around the area, just always trying to stay busy. Always been a worker, man. And so we were brought up to work, and so just trying to learn everything that I could from everyone. And I wind up almost 10 years in paint body working for that body shop. And there was a guy that came in, and his name is, I think I've said his name before, Jimmy Edwards, out of Searcy, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy, at that time, I don't know how many years he was involved in PDR, but I was in there working, and he come in and saw him doing some stuff. I'm like, man, what is this cat doing? And so I'll go over and talk to him. And I remember at that time, I had a black 2-door Tahoe is what I owned. And it had some door dings in it. And it was a good looking ride, man. But those dents obviously bothered me.
What year Tahoe?
I was trying to remember exactly the year it was. I'm guessing somewhere around mid-90s.
Okay. So you got that vent on the bottom.
Yes, vent door. You could put the carbon tech up in that sucker, man. And so I went and talked to him, and he said, "Man, I'm taking dents out of this vehicle." And he was taking it out for that body shop that I was working for. And I saw the dent before, saw it afterwards. I'm like, that is some cool shit, man. That is so cool. And so I hit him up and said, "Hey, man, I got a Tahoe out there, and would you check him out?" Dude told me $20. $20, I'll take out, all the ones in the door. And I'm like, man, $20. Jimmy, and
so
Jimmy
he's
has
the $20 guy.
Yeah, he is. He did have a reputation of being really cheap with his dent repair, and of course that was, shit, guys, that was, late 90s, early 90s, mid 90s, something like that. He was the only guy around that was doing it. And anyway, he took him out for me. And when he was done, I was like, man, I found what I want to do.
Teach me your ways.
This is it, man. What can I do, to get you to train me to do this?
$20. I'll tell you, everything's $20.
He said, "You got to fix everything for $20." But anyway, he said, "Man, I'm not training you." He said, "I'm not training no competition." And I'm like, "What?" And so this is guy that he drove around with golf clubs and fishing pole and his PDR tools all in the back of his car together. So he lived a good life, man. I mean, he's still obviously, I think he's still pushing dents. Super nice guy. I think he trained Wade Johnson. Wade was trained by Jimmy. And but anyway, he's not too far from me. And he's actually in Searcy.
Is he?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, we'll talk about that later because I want to see if there's any guys in Searcy that are worth seeing when I go back. I like to meet dent guys, but it's depends on them. But anyway,
Searcy used to be a hotbed for them. Really? Meaning there's a Quick Way came out of Searcy years ago, and I know they didn't necessarily have that great reputation now. Back then they did. They were a hell chasing team, and there was a lot of technicians out of it's called White County area that they worked for Quick Way, and we did too a long time ago. Me and Kyle Foster, and but I saw Jimmy doing it. I tried to get him to train me. He was not interested. I moved from that town and moved to a city in Conway, about an hour away. And I was researching, dude. I'm like, where can I learn how to do this stuff? And back then, you're talking 98, 99, dial-up internet, and I'm like searching the world trying to find some training and found some.
Searching the ads in the newspaper.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So it's so funny that the place I went was in California, San Diego. Me and Bryce Kelly talked about it. He went there and got trained too.
Oh, wow.
Rightlook.com.
Okay.
And so I was browsing the internet. They popped up and called the guy. I said, "Look, man, internet's, I don't trust it. I don't know you. You're wanting some money, and I'm not sending you shit until, I can actually get on a plane and come to you with a check,
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, man, I understand that." And wind up getting on a plane and flying to San Diego to learn 7 days of PDR training.
How much was it back then?
Man, tools, because I bought a bunch of tools. The
Before
training,
the training you
staying.
did?
No, after the training. I mean,
Okay.
sort of in the middle of the training, he's like, "Hey,
Okay.
these are some tools," and
Yeah.
obviously it was an upsell at that time.
Mhm.
I think when it's all said and done, I think I spent anywhere from 20 to 25,000.
Oh
You
wow.
know, back
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and dude, it's such poor training. Nothing against them guys, but we didn't even know how to
7
fix it.
days worth of dang.
It was bad. It
I'm
was
in the wrong
bad.
business here.
You're right.
7 days, and then that 7 days, if you wanted windshield chip repair, you could get
Yeah.
that. You could get buffing. Anyway, it was
Yeah.
it was something else. And
That's your start,
so
though.
it was me and Kyle Foster went. Kyle Foster's out of Northwest Arkansas, and me and Kyle was friends. And funny story about Kyle. At that specific time, I was dating his sister, and he was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "Man, I'm going to San Diego to learn how to fix dents." He's like, and he was just sort of at a stage in his life where he wasn't really knowing what he wanted to do. Dude sold his truck the day before and didn't even have nothing to drive, and got on a plane with me
Oh
and
shit.
went and training. Yeah,
That's
and
wild.
they actually did give you a little bit of a deal, meaning if you after a couple of days, if you wasn't catching on, they would give you your money back and you could leave. But me and Kyle, everybody left, but me and Kyle stayed there. So we got all that one-on-one training for those solid days, 7 days.
So you could fix
It was,
everything when you were done. You were ready.
dude, we didn't even know that. Like we practiced on a hood, and we didn't know that fixing a side panel was any different than fixing a hood.
Mhm.
Did we realize it when we got home that it was not the same? Obviously, it was quite the show.
Same as when I got into this. They were going to send me and the other guy for training, but I had to work out my 2-week notice prior, and so they sent the other guy. And so when he came back in a couple of weeks, and we had every used car we wanted to practice on and to do, and the first one's in the door, and I'm like, okay, what do we do? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I've been on the hood. I've been on the hood for 2 weeks.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Oh.
Yeah. It was. We come back thinking we knew everything. I remember a Hale car we got instantly when we came back, and we worked on it together and we ran the battery down because our light plugged into the cigarette lighter,
Yep.
And so we fixed this blue Subaru, and we worked on it. I don't know how many days. Anyway, we got it done, and it looked great from one angle.
No
Everywhere else, it was horrible. And I'm like, what did we do wrong? And so we still talk about that blue Subaru today, man, because it's almost 25 years,
Wow.
And so
were the customers happy with it?
It was actually a wholesale car lot, and he was he discounted our payment. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
He wasn't really interested in paying us all of it. Plus, we run his damn battery down. It's like, man, I'm sorry, I can't move it. I can't move it in because it won't start. But anyway, getting back to that, man, I was doing night classes in college. When I got back, had some basic fundamental tools, not a whole lot. Got a fender, got a door, put it, and me and my sister and 2 other roommates shared a house in Conway. I got a hood, got a fender, and I was in the garage during the day working, trying to fix dents, learning how to fix them, taking the basic, that they showed me, and then going to college the rest of the time. I got good enough to where, okay, all these college kids were coming over and wanting their cars worked on, and I was working on them for free for a little bit just to get the experience.
Yeah, right.
And then after I started getting pretty good, and they started paying me, and so when I built up some confidence, and after that, I went out. Man, I truly went out to the dealerships and marketed myself. I went straight to one specific dealership and said, "Hey, you don't know me. I don't know you. Let me show you what I can do. And I'll fix one for free. I won't charge you a dime." And it's just old school, old school of saying, let me show you. And after that, started gaining some momentum. Got so busy that college was I was sitting in classes in college. I'm like, I'm making too much money sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm missing out. And so after that, just basically just kept going. Then I jumped on a hell team, obviously, like we all do sometime or another in our career. Went out and learned more stuff from good technicians that I remember seeing the first whale tail. I mean, it tells you how long it's been.
Yeah.
Whale tails wasn't even a thing of at the time. And so I learned a whole lot of stuff from technicians who've been on the road fixing hail storms all over the world. And you know how that goes. You learn from other people, and you give other people ideas, and it's a pretty good industry when it comes to sharing ideas.
Especially in social media, like you're more able to learn from each other with social media videos, just chatting through social media and whatnot. It's helped a ton. I love it.
Yeah. And I always had the mindset of, even after 25 years, I mean, shit, just this past year, I went and trained with Bryce, just always try to figure out a way of the guy's going to open up a door for you somewhere, and
you don't know
marketing
you don't know everything. If
right.
you get to the point, I've always said that if you get to the point where you don't think you can learn anything,
yep,
you're not gonna go any further.
Right.
We're all learning. I mean, and continue to learn. I mean, so yeah,
totally agree with that. You got to have the mindset of continue. There's no better investment than in yourself. But if it's marketing,
y'all didn't share anything 15 years ago. Yeah, we know.
You're right. There's a whole lot of people that did not. Yeah.
You couldn't even get trained for $20. Come on.
Yeah, and I do remember hearing stories of guys that wouldn't do any kind of PDR in front of no one at all. That's like, you got to leave, or
and everything.
Curtains. Yeah, I heard that story.
If somebody walked up, they just drop their tools and stand up and go somewhere else until they left.
Yeah. It's a lot has changed since then, and part of that, I think, had a lot to do with Keith Constantino and Shane Jacks, because
absolutely.
Back in those days when they started the podcast, I was like, why are they giving up all these ideas? This is stuff that we've had for a long time, but it made sense. And I think that podcast changed a lot of my mindset. And those guys don't get enough credit for that, honestly. I think they really opened up the door to a lot of technicians in the industry of trying to exercise the importance of sharing information and trying to help one another. As Shane always says at the end of the podcast, get better. We're all trying to make a living. You got competition in your own town, your own city. Hey man, he's just trying to make a living. He's got kids just like you.
Absolutely.
That's what he's trying to do. And so we're all trying to make a living. And
that's it. Yeah. Matt said he's trying to learn for free. But you are. Like, you spent some time up here last year. Got paid to learn some stuff last year. Matt's good. I got to pick on it. Bruce said even old dogs can learn new tricks.
That's right.
Even the oldest of dogs can. We love Bruce.
Bruce, he's up there with Doug up there.
Yeah.
Not too far from Doug. Yeah. That's good. But Doug's been he's a solid guy, man. As you all know, both.
Oh yeah.
He's so laid back. I give him a hard time. He's like maybe 8 months, older than me. And I'm like, dude, you're so old. I just give him a hard time. I said, you walk around like you're 94 because he's got all those motorcycle injuries,
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's like, are you going to even be able to get to the table? I mean, next year we're going to roll you up in here or what,
Right.
Yeah.
So when did you actually decide to quit being mobile and start a retail location?
Well, yeah, interesting. I had a dealership group that there was, thinking 4 accounts and a body shop that I did a lot of work for. And their body shop went from like a 15,000 square foot body shop down to like a 5,000 square foot, shop. Yeah. And so at that point in time, being a mobile guy, I no longer had a place to work. We're like, man, we just don't have a place to put you. And at that time, man, that one account was paying me, 150 plus. I mean, it was a big account. And I said, I got to have a place to work. And so I shopped around, and there was a small little shop right down the road, right around all the accounts. I'm like, and I remember it was $750 a month and 1,500 square feet, heated and cooled. And I'm like, this will work. You got to think this is over 10 years ago. And there wasn't a lot of retail shops back then, guys. As far as I know,
$750 a month, heated and cooled. That ain't bad.
Oh, that's a steal
compared to now.
Now that's probably 3,500 now.
Yeah, 750 would be a storage unit down the road down here.
Yeah, but keep in mind, this is something to think about. 10 plus years ago, I had no overhead.
Yeah.
And you're thinking all of a sudden now I got $750 a month plus utilities plus insurance. I'm probably kicking close to $1,500 a month for a shop. And I'm like, this is so much of a cost, of course, what we're talking about today.
That's like, one day of work.
And so I said, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to go grab the cars, and I'm going to bring them over there, fix them. And it worked out. I'm like, well, hell, I'm here so much. I might as well start, trying to sell to the public as well. And so one thing after another, man, it's started pushing dents and started giving out business cards, and started researching business, researching anything I could do to learn how to run a business on the business side of things. So basically terms of saying, if someone comes in your door and they don't even know where they're at their own place, introduce yourself and say, hey, here's what I do. Go out and knock on doors. I mean, I'd shut down, around lunchtime and stay going for an hour, and I'm going out knocking on doors and telling people, hey, I'm right over here. If you have a dent in your car, I'll come and get it and bring it back to you. Just hustling.
Yeah.
And after a while, you start establishing that, and in a pretty decent little city, maybe 60,000 people, a couple colleges. It wasn't bad. I was doing fine, no problems at all. But you guys may not remember this. When you're a mobile guy and you're running around from dealership to body shop to everything, you build a rapport. You build these friends that's at this body shop, and you build friends with these guys. Bro, when you're in your shop by yourself, you're like, there ain't nobody to BS with, and nobody's coming in the door because they don't even know you're there,
Yeah.
And so you start dealing with that, and I struggled with it. It took me longer to adjust to that because I am a people person. So communication, I love doing. It's second nature to me.
Yeah.
But when you're in a shell and you're like, it's just me and the music, nobody else is here.
I don't know. Think about it. Sometimes you'd probably kill for a day like that.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's exactly right. But I still, to this day, I enjoy being mobile. Like, we have some body shops occasionally I load up to and go to, and you go and you kick it like it's like you never missed anything, man. And I enjoy that part. So retail shop, those four walls, occasionally get a little too much cabin fever. And I talked to my manager today. I said, hey, I want a quote on 2 glass inserts on these garage doors to open this thing up to where we can see a little bit more outside. My building's an old building, and so we need a little bit more, outside view, so it's not necessarily feeling that way. But but anyway, that I did that, and we had a hailstorm hit, and I remember my son was wanting to learn how to fix dents. We had a little storm that came in, and we were there. We're doing great, and I said, I'm trying to remember how many years I was there. I said, I'm never leaving this little honey hole until we can buy a building, until we buy our own spot, which was going to consist of being in the right area, right location, and everything. So as time went on, and you have a storm, things are doing great. We decided to branch out on a bigger building, bigger everything, and went to buy the building after. You learn from your mistakes, guys. Let's remember this. This was a mistake. I went in and invested in a guy's building, and he committed to me to selling it. 2,500 square feet, heated and cooled, with more square footage behind it, on a pretty busy Highway 65 in Conway. And the guy backed out from selling it to me after I put about $35,000 into it. And after 12 months, like you told me, he backed out. And so I didn't have anything in writing, inexperience. Those hard lessons are the best ones. And but anyway, we continue to progress from there, and we went to another shop. COVID hit, and oh crap, went to so we shut that shop down just because times were so bad. It was crazy. Stayed mobile for a little bit over a year and opened up the shop that we have now. It's a little vintage gas station right in the middle of downtown Conway.
Those are cool.
Dude, it's a little honey hole. I'm telling you, it's exactly what it is. It does great. It's small. The whole building's like 1,500 square feet. And it's got a bathroom, an office, and 2 stalls. And those 2 stalls is like, they're little. But I put heat and cool in it, man, spray foam the ceiling, and we do great out of it. It's a nice little place,
Yeah, my one of my wife's uncles owned this old Gulf station.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was one of the, like, my ideal shop would be one that the glass bay doors front and back, you open up kind of like where you can basically just drive through. So everything's open. Like, and this one didn't have them in the back, but it had the old glass ones in the front, a nice little corner glassed office.
Yeah.
I was like, but it was in the worst possible location, like busy ass road, but no way to really get in and out of it.
So it was too busy, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's just in a very bad corner spot on one of the biggest highways that we have.
That'll deter customers. They'll sit there and look like, man, I ain't gonna be able to get in or out of this place. Like, I'm gonna figure something else out. Like, I could see that being a problem.
I bought my parents. My dad was a mechanic. I bought this shop, so I've got 4 bays, but it's all entrance from the back. So you have a great storefront, but the only glass is the office and then the door for the waiting room. But I'm like you. I would love for one day to have a little bit more natural light in. People can kind of see eventually down the road.
I feel like if you do that with windows, though, your heat and air, your heat or your air, if you got air conditioner, it's going to be, the bill's going up a little bit higher.
Get it tinted, man. Ceramic.
Yeah.
I'm not what are you talking about AC?
Door.
I ain't got AC.
I know.
You don't
crazy.
have AC?
No. He's crazy.
Bro, you make too much money for that.
In Mobile, Alabama.
Man,
the devil's butthole.
If I
you could produce 30% more income with AC.
Oh, man.
I agree.
When I'm out there sweating, I want to get it done. If I had AC, I'd be eating Little Debbie's back there all day long, working on stuff, getting fatter and fatter.
Nah, man.
No, dude.
I'm messing with y'all.
Your glues work better. You can work longer. In the days. It's a no-brainer.
I'm lucky to where my building, the sun doesn't come in my back on my bay doors. Like, it's my doors face the south down here, and it works out.
Yeah. I mean, it's look.
Eventually,
you're
I will have air,
bro.
I will have air in here.
I know you make enough money to put AC in that place.
Look, everybody is agreeing AC is a must.
It's not even. It's not even a debate. Once you have it, it's like you can't go back.
This guy probably don't even need AC. He's got great weather all year round. Like, he's like, what's AC? Like, it's perfect in here at all times. Well,
yeah, but the vintage gas station, anytime you see one in the old town, you just see it like, man, perfect. It'll work.
There's another one that I've had my eye on for years, and it's just a great little location, almost towards downtown. And somebody finally made it into I think it may be a tent shop now, but I mean, they tinted those front glass doors, so it's a mirrored tent, so it looks cool from the outside when they have the AC on and all that. And
Have you kept yours like classic look? Did you keep it the classic old gas station look?
Oh yeah,
modernize it.
I would.
Yeah.
My Greg.
Well, mine is still the vintage look because I don't really have much of a choice. If I wanted to it's still the vintage look. Yeah, it's a 1940s gas station. It looks pretty cool. but it's hard to do anything different in the inside because the outside's vintage, you know. And
Right.
so, great location. Location. Let me just tell you something, guys. I've had the up and downs of retail shop, the good, the bad, the ugly,
Mhm.
you know, and I've spent a lot of money on a lot of other people's buildings. But I can tell you, you know, there's certain parameters or certain, you know, things to put a shop in a certain location that's been effective and that has worked and that hasn't worked for me. And
Mhm.
so I there there are certain things that you do and that you don't do.
Mhm.
And so overhead, I've been down, like I said, we talked earlier, overhead will make you lose sleep.
Oh,
Tons
sure.
and tons of sleep. Get something that you can handle by having a really, really light, you know, year of not having to kill it to that's something you want to think about, being able to handle the overhead without any kind of issues whatsoever.
That's
You
where we're
get
blessed
something.
with our shop. We got low overhead as far as our mortgage and stuff. It's cheap. Like I couldn't have
Hmm.
found nowhere to rent for anything I'd have rented for this would have been double the price I pay in my mortgage.
Yeah.
So and my
Yeah.
body shop's right there. Location's perfect. Like I can walk up
Perfect.
the hill
Yeah.
in my body shop. I'm good.
Yeah. Location, you'd said earlier, about, you know, being too busy. Location, vehicle count. There's a lot of different things that come into
Mhm.
play that really makes or break a shop. And like I said, I've been on that half a block off the street, you know, off the main road, or, you know,
Yeah.
$10,000 a month just to freaking open the door. You know,
Mm.
all those things
Oof.
teach you those hard lessons.
Right.
So you, but retail, getting in a retail shop, everybody thinks it's easy. As you guys know, it's a challenge.
Mhm.
It's not.
Yeah. Being
You don't know.
mobile is one thing. When you break off and decide to do an actual location, it opens up a whole another can of worms that
Hmm.
not everybody is ready for and thinks it's easy. Oh, I'm just going to pay this a month and, have me a place. Man,
Hmm.
there's a lot that goes on with it, and to
Matt,
keep it going and to keep building it and stuff. So yeah, it's
Matt Moore tells a good story about that. Like having his employees, having the shop. He said one day he was sitting there and they had a ping pong table. He just heard them playing ping pong. Like that's all you could hear in the shop. There was no work in there, and he's like, just stress ate him alive. Like we don't have any work,
Yeah.
and I'm paying people to play
yeah,
ping pong right now.
I've leaned on Matt a lot.
yeah,
He's, look, there's guys that can push dents. A lot of us that can push dents.
yeah,
Mhm.
But can you run a business
yeah,
financially to support itself and support the staffs there? There's certain parameters of numbers. You got sales tax that you got to report to the state.
Mhm.
You got taxes you got to pay in. You got, overhead of insurance, liability insurance. It's
yeah,
and then you think, um, my technicians are making too much or not making too much, or the shop's not making enough, back and forth. It's a balance, man. Matt's
yeah.
pretty sharp, and so he knows a lot of those parameters, and he's got a pretty good thing going on.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah,
you get certain people that are like him that are just
yeah.
phenomenal at running a business, have that genius mind of how to. I
Mhm.
can't do that. Like
Yeah.
I'm, you know, I wish I had somebody that could run everything and I could just go out here and push dents.
I'll
Honestly,
talk.
Yeah.
I'll have a good conversation with Matt, and it's like all the information's going way over my
Yes.
head. I'm like, I don't even know what you're
Yeah.
talking
it's
about,
like the
bro.
Hey,
Matrix. I just see all this
so
crap
true.
going in front of me.
No,
Yeah, like
I
what?
don't talk to Matt unless my office manager is there with me and she's taking notes and
Right?
I'm taking notes and I'm like, what did you get on this? What did you get on that? Because the dude's like, I'm like, Matt, I
yeah,
just need a little bit of your time. Next thing you know, he's with me, 30
yeah,
Yeah,
minutes, and we got a ton of information from him that he's very helpful, very
oh
yeah.
thoughtful
gosh, yeah,
He loves sharing
to
that knowledge, and I love it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
great.
And so my manager will refer back. Well, Matt said to do this. I'm like, well, let's do it. What do we got to
Yeah,
do? So
it's the
so
Bible. What
that's
Matt
awesome.
says is
yeah,
the Bible.
yeah.
Yep.
And thinking of retail shops, I remember Matt um, Matt sat down with me and Doug Helios before Matt even had a shop
Hmm.
at Mobile Tech. Sat down with us and drilled us for seemed like a couple hours. This is before Matt even started his retail shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And what are y'all doing? What are you doing this? What are you doing that? Matt Boyette did the same thing. Matt sat down and we sat down with his wife. I guess they thought me and Doug had things figured out. Obviously,
y'all got them fooled, huh?
Yeah.
We're like, hey man, now we're calling you guys. We're trying to figure out what y'all are doing,
Right.
And so, but this guy's trying to help one another. And hey, this has worked for us. Now it's not. Doug's in a different location. It was always funny because Helios is in Seattle, Washington, where the income is probably 150 a year annually, and 4 million people in the city. And I'm in Conway, Arkansas, where the annual income is 38,000 with 60,000 people.
Same.
We do the same thing, 2 different places, and one doesn't work, and it may be vice versa.
Yeah.
We're working on Kias. He's working on McLarens.
McLarens and Tesla. That's all that shop's ever got in it. It's high-end cars and Tesla.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't blame you. I mean, I get a 1986 Porsche in my building, and I'm like wanting a movie. I'm wanting to like video everything in the building,
Right. It's like me and Matt Moore with ceramic coating. We took it on watching him and learned from him and stuff. And he's doing Teslas where there's no taping. We're getting Silverados where it's all textured plastic. You're having to tape the whole thing and jacked up. I'm like, man, Matt, how the hell? Like, I'm more masking.
Yeah, exactly. The bigger cities, they don't look at a $250 door ding as a big deal. Places where I'm at, people, they're like, oh man, that's just more than I expected. Well, of course it was. You're driving a Kia. Nothing against the Kia,
My wife drives a Kia.
Nothing against the Kia, man. But you drive a Kia or you drive a McLaren, and that's you're talking, $200,000 more.
Right.
So,
like for them here, it's trucks, but then hell, them trucks cost as much as the high end cars anymore. So they're still
$100,000 truck all day long nowadays. Yeah. That's what we have around.
And they care about them.
That's the reason they don't have the money to fix them because paying a house note on the vehicle.
I fix easier shit on a truck than I do anything all day, every day. It's usually just, the older trucks, obviously, I'm like, Jesus Christ, why'd you even hear? But
and it's always in the same spot, too. Mm-hmm. Like every model has its weak spot.
Yep.
Like, let's say 14 to 19 Chevy trucks or whatever, that front fender, right behind the headlights, always the same damn dent. What are y'all hitting? Like, what can y'all just not see? Or
trailers? Can you drive a trailer and jackknife the shit out of it every time?
I tell you, in our town, there was at one time there was a Sonic that put their signs, the angle of their signs wrong, and so these people were pulling up at this little window or whatever, and they were smoking their fender on the passenger side because I bet I fixed 20 repairs for a few years, same repair, same fender, everything.
You got really fast at it.
It was great, man. And there was a lot of yellow on the fender from the plastic on the yellow side. They're like, I don't know how I got this. I'm saying, I'm gonna tell you how you got it.
You been to Sonic lately?
Like the Sonic guys. Like those guys gave me so much business.
You whooping down a foot long. What you doing?
Was it worth it?
It was great, man. It was so good. I'm like, you guys are making me so much money. I'm glad y'all moved those signs around.
So you start putting an ad up there, just put stickers on there.
Yeah.
10% off door ding with every fender rub.
As far as PDR and retail shops, I've been doing that for a little bit over 10 years now. I enjoyed the mobile thing, man. I did. Still to this day, enjoy it. Retail shops, mobile guys may struggle with this, but legitimacy is built in retail PDR shops. It's not built in person's driveway. It's just my opinion.
Right.
You got people like Bryce that does a lot of, super, super nice work in somebody's driveway. But, a customer, and you can analyze them, you can question them. I question my customers a whole lot. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And it's, if something goes wrong, you're there. If this goes wrong, you're there. You want to educate your customers as much as possible to know that there is mobile guys out there. You may not find them, next week or the following week, but we're here every day. And so you preach that to them, and you even let them know, hey, obviously Corey's in my own shop or my own town. Hey, if you don't like these prices, go see Corey. He's over there too, or whatever. So I've actually sent stuff to him. I think he sent stuff to me before the good thing about it too is a lot of our prices are very similar because we use Precedent, and so it works out pretty good.
That's awesome.
We need more people in our city, but we could 2 retail shops in the same town. I think we're both still staying busy. So
yeah, that's awesome. And I think with the shop too, how you build it out, like we get a lot of compliments. We got the Swiss Tracks floor. The office is really nice. Like I think that itself sells a damn. They walk in and know their vehicle's going to be taken care of just looking at the shop. And your job's easy at that point.
Like I tell them, rain, shine, hot, cold, I can fix your dent.
You know, and I was trying to remember when I first got my shop, I put it down, and I had, like I said, there wasn't that many shops around. And when people came in, they saw their baby on that floor, and they're like, "This guy cares. He knows what he's doing." You know,
exactly.
We pull the door off. They're not dealing with filler dust. They're not dealing with, primer, body filler, anything like that. It's clean inside. It's clean everywhere else. It's basically, we care about what the hell we're doing. And you pull the door off, fix it, you put it back on, take pictures, do the marketing, things like that. And retail shops, they're hard to run, but they do give the industry more legitimacy than the hell, than the parking lot tents that people set up in, and everything else. But there is a challenge, definitely have its own challenges, to keep them going.
Have y'all had a lot of influx of gypsies during the past 3 years of y'all getting hammered with hell?
We've been very fortunate. In 22, we did have a couple tents set up in town, nothing major. It's always good in our area because in the Midwest, when storms hit, they usually hit in the spring. But we hope Dallas gets hit, or anywhere in Texas get hit. We hope anywhere around, gets hit, especially the bigger cities, because what happens if we were to get some then we don't have that many cockroaches rolling in town.
Yeah.
And so that
how do you combat that when you see that? What's your marketing for that?
My marketing for that is, you do the best you can. So you educate you educate your people that know you, that trust you, that understand retail PDR, retail shops in your city is legitimate. The guys in the tents are going to be in another tent next month.
Yep.
They're going to be gone and they're going to be working on somebody else's car. I'm not going to say they're not going to do good work. Yeah. I'm just saying if something happens, where are they going to be?
Yeah,
I've had that conversation so many times.
And that's how I do it. I'm like, look, in a month to 2 months, couple months, something happens, and just say with all the R&I on your vehicle, something can happen. Starts rallying that. I said, who are you going to take it back to when that happens?
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah. We're here. We're here to stay. We're from here. You know what I mean? There's certain ways that there's only so much you can do to try to, like back in 22 when the big Orange Beach hailstorm hit down here. I paid the $500, got a news spot. They came out. We did an interview. My whole thing was, that drive that into people's heads that, hey, we are your local company. We are the ones. There's others around, but us as a whole, we are your local people. We're going to be here when everything's all said and done. These gypsies, they wouldn't put gypsies on air, but when the gypsies leave town, we're the ones that are going to be here.
I always say the circus, when the circus leaves town and the tents leave town.
Right. Well, and you're building that reputation every day by when you don't have hell with your customers and make sure they have a nice experience. They're the first ones when somebody's on their local Facebook group. Where do I go for hail damage? And then people are the ones singing your praises, and you build that all day, every day.
And there's a way of doing it too, out of respect. You don't want to necessarily throw shade on the guys. Just show the value that you bring. You know? Because there's no need in doing a, there's no need in taking your. These guys are trying to make a living. They're away from their families. They're here trying to make a living. They're just creeping on our customers. They're doing. I did that. I've been that guy in my 25 years to do that. So look at it in a way of just saying, protect and you're, as Paul Corden says, you're nacho. The ones that go that way are nacho. They're nacho customer.
They want the free TVs and the deductible paid and all that. You can go more than happy to go over there. I don't care.
And you got to understand in your mindset, you're not going to get every damn car in town.
No.
So quit worrying about it. Fix what's in front of you. Take care of who you got.
Even the technician that does the worst work in your town, hey, if something happens, it still has to go back to him. You know
he's still gonna be there.
So still use them if they're. But anyway, hey, we've made
it without.
I know we're 46 minutes in. We still hadn't got to know you on a personal level. So let's kind of move away from the PDR side for just a little bit at least. And get to know you, like I said, more of a who you are outside of the PDR world. So, family.
Yeah. I grew up dirt poor. Okay. I had 2 older brothers that kicked my tail many times and taught me a lot of lessons. Taught me how to fight, taught me how to take a butt whooping. So I knew both sides of the spectrum, and you grow up playing sports, and you grow up, in my early years, my mom said, get out of the house and don't come back till dark. That's the way we were.
Yep.
Of course, today's times are different, but grew up with 2 older brothers, got a baby sister. Brother owns an athletic store in Searcy, Arkansas. Other brother is an education department in South Arkansas, and I have a sister where her husband's a chief in the Air Force, and they're actually in North Carolina at the moment. Got a son, Devin. It's 28. He's a PDR technician that I trained. Devin's been pushing for about 10 years. I have twin daughters, Maddie and Macy, identical twins. They're at the University of Arkansas. They're juniors.
Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas. One is going to be in medical sales, and the other one is a nurse anesthetist. And then my Lily Irene, which is 13. She's, of course, Daddy's little girl because she's still here with me, and she is. I just got done watching her play volleyball, so she's ate up with volleyball just like her sister. They're all good kids. Very thankful. They're I guess you could say that it could be a lot worse. Let's put it this way. I haven't had any kind of major issues with them at all. Me and Devin's worked together on and off for 10 years, and we working with your son sometimes is not easy. A lot of people will say that. We've had our ups and downs, but he's a good kid, and he's I want him to be happy. If it's pushing dents with me or pushing dents somewhere else, whatever he does, I want him to be happy. And but twins are they're calling the hogs up there, University of Arkansas.
So
I'm up there a lot.
Are they sophomores or freshmen?
They're actually juniors.
Juniors.
Yeah.
They're
juniors.
They're the same age as my oldest.
Okay.
She's a junior this year.
Yeah.
Go to all the football games.
Yeah, man. I have some Airbnbs up there, so I go up there and take care of them, and then I go hang out with my girls, and me and Stephanie go up there a whole lot, and we enjoy our time. I was married for 18 years, went through a divorce, and recently, it's been almost 4 or 5 years since my divorce, and recently, a lot of people don't even know this. Last Wednesday, me and Stephanie went to the local courthouse and got married.
Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't even know that. We haven't, I think there are probably 10 or 15 people that know. We didn't even tell no one.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's a pretty special lady. So I'm thankful for her.
Awesome.
But yeah, my mom lives in the Searcy area. Man, I've had a good life. I'm 51. I still got a lot of more years to enjoy. And as far as one of the things I take a lot of pride in, a lot of people don't know, is my kids. I push them to try to see the good in things and see the, we talked about earlier about optimism. I think I know the hell out of them, honestly, because I'm like, what did you learn from that? What did you, did you learn from that bad experience, or did you, just get shit on, or what, And so I push them to try to find the silver lining and the good in everything that they do.
Right.
And because it's techs, that sometimes we can go to work and we can say, damn, I got to fix this car. We can go to work and say, I get to fix this car.
Right.
So the mindset's huge for me. And so I instill that in them a lot to try to find the good, and pushing them to do that. Lily said this morning as we was headed to school, I said, okay, I need 2 good things. Tell me 2 good things. She's like, damn, Dad. And she didn't say damn. She said, Dad, I hate when you do this. I said, baby, find 2 good things, And so she told me 2 good things and then smiled after the fact. So it was all worthwhile for me right
Doug
there.
wants to know who taught you how to drink Vegas bombs.
Man, every time we get an opportunity to get together, Vegas bombs, Doug's like, man, not another one. I said, come on. Of course,
got to be optimistic about getting drunk.
Yeah, you got to know, Doug, that this is opportunity.
What's in a Vegas bomb?
It's actually Crown, peach schnapps, I think, or some kind of schnapps, cranberry. Man, I'm not sure. I drank them. I don't know what the hell they make, So
get to have Kamala Harris as president. That's hard. Oh god.
Yeah, John.
You do live that, John. I could testify to that.
And John, I've heard that about you too, man. And down at MT, had a lot of good conversation.
He's not in my shop, and I'm dying to have him here just to have that calm, cool, collect guy. I need him here with me at all times because I lose my shit so quick. John's like, man, no, it's gonna be good, dude.
Yeah.
John said he's pretty sure there's Jaeger in that Vegas bomb too.
yeah. I don't know what's all in it. I know Doug. Every time we get a chance to get together, me and Doug and Matt Boyette hit some down at the MTE, and Doug's like, man, are you ever gonna stop? I'm like, man, our time is short here, dog. Let's have a good time, And with Doug, at home, he starts eating around 3:30 his dinner, and he's in bed by 6, because at his age he's got to get up super early at his age.
He is pretty old, ain't he?
I figure he's gonna be coming back with something on that for sure.
Sorry, Nick. There's no good in Allstate.
I like find someone good in Allstate.
There's no good.
We've actually had Allstate pay over on one situation. It's rare.
That's a unicorn situation if that's the case, man. that Allstate has turned into the State Farm.
Oh yeah, we have issues with that too.
So I'm guessing y'all were huge Arkansas fans before they went.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I grew up a Razorback fan, man, and look, it's hard to be a Razorback fan too, because we're usually not very good at a whole lot of anything when it comes to sports.
Florida fan. It's been hard to be a Florida fan here lately. Hell, y'all beat us last year. Like, it's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Hey man, it was bad if we beat you. That's for sure. I mean, we typically have a pretty decent baseball team and pretty above average. I told you it was coming.
Yeah, if you said a 3.
So he's actually up past his bedtime then.
No, it's over there. It's still like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I can tell you something about that guy. I met Doug at a it was one of the training scenarios that Keith and Shane did years ago. One of the first ones they did. And me and that dude has been solid in contact since that. Like, we hung out that day or those few days. Mm-hmm. And I go to MTE to see Doug, most of the time, because we don't get a chance to actually, visit besides talking over the phone. Yeah. But solid guy, man. Always making you laugh. Always making you.
He was in the 20 group with me. That's how I met him. And we went to Phoenix for one of our in-person 20 groups, and me and him got to hang out quite a bit there, more than other. I think it was the only one he went to. But just solid dude, very knowledgeable. It was like I was taking from him anything he was talking about. I was like, I'm gathering that in, bud.
Yeah. We bounce stuff off. We haven't a lot recently, but the first few years we knew one another. When we first met, man, I'm like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? And obviously that's how you learn, man. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of people think you just open up a damn retail shop and you got techs coming in doing everything, but it's not that easy.
No, not at all.
Those first few years are called the honeymoon phase.
Right.
y'all are past that now. Now you got to work on your relationship there.
We got to be intentional.
They are inseparable at MTE. If you see Doug, you see Greg at all times.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people say that. They're like, "You guys don't even live close to one another." I'm like, "No, I'm in Arkansas." So, it's good times, man. I enjoy those times. We actually haven't got our women together. We've been talking about trying to figure out some way to get the women involved and hanging out. And
MTE?
I don't know, with Doug's the way he walks and as slow as he walks, I don't know if he's going to make very many more MTEs.
I know, right? He better start planning.
Right.
But yeah, dude, just for that reason, I love my family. Love and relationships are valuable to me. Friendships. I always want to try to do what I can to help somebody else. It's important to me. I may have the answer, I might not. But I'll try to help you find out the best scenario if I can.
Yeah.
So
that's what we've always told everybody. Especially everybody that we've had on the show. We're like, me and Andy are open books.
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions or want some sort of advice, I don't know if it's the greatest advice, but
that's my mom. She got now. She used to be a bartender at the VFW.
Oh yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. Let me tell you something. They're good, but they will get you. They will get you.
It looks like
sweet.
Anything with schnapps too. Shoo.
Yeah, I think I had Chris White, of course, Danny, and I think it was Chris's son at MT.
Hayden,
me and Doug, we were all like, "Hey, let's another round." It was good.
That's what MT is, a big drinking contest sometimes. Like everybody's like, let's go. I'm like, dang. Now that I don't drink, it's
run
fun
a 40-yard dash.
Yeah. Who's that?
Yeah, who's with that? It's a great idea.
Oh goodness. I can't wait for it to be back at Rose and Shingle though.
I can't either.
Yeah. And then by late that night, Boyette showed up, and then we made him start hitting them with us. So by then, Doug's like, "Man, I
don't think I've ever seen Boyette drink."
So. I haven't either.
Yeah,
he's usually so busy at MT. He's working the booth and stuff. So
yeah, it was late night too. When he came down there, we were finishing up.
John. So. John's acting like a rookie the past 2 damn MTs. Like, why you acting like it's your first go around?
Have John as a roommate.
The only time John talks shit.
Yeah,
John will creep in the middle of the night and be like, "Hey."
Did you say him and Brendan had a different language?
Oh, my God, they come in one night and they have some sort of Jaeger language that they speak to each other, I guess, because it wasn't English. I can tell you that. But like 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, Jaeger's a solid dude.
Yeah. Trying to read all that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Very well, thanks for your comments. It's a fan. What's up, Steve? Yeah.
John died.
I thought you were dying several times when you walked in.
Yeah, we went there to get dressed.
I don't think he slept for 3 days though.
We went there to get dressed for deadlifting. He's gone. I was like, "Dang, boy, what are you doing?"
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that. We were standing there talking, me and Jaeger and Doug. I know, and we were in that one spot for over an hour, just standing in one spot in that foyer. It seemed
worst drive home ever. Yeah, he drove that year too.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst drive. It wasn't the worst drive home because you had our Golden Mike Award with you the whole way home.
Anyway,
no,
you talking about Boyette? I want another shout out to them guys. I can't wait for them to bring another Dent Slayer podcast out. Have you listened to it yet?
I hadn't had a chance to. I saw it the other day.
Yeah,
throw it on YouTube when you got some time when you're just working. Put your headphones on. Yeah. It's a really good one.
Yeah, that was about 2 hours.
Really? Yeah. Wow. Matt's sharp. His
brain don't stop.
He's sort of a different version of the Matt Moore. Matt Moore is the business side of things, but Matt Boyette, he talks. I mean, when he's talking about tooling, and of course, He's all about fixing smashes and stuff that people can't. But he's a phenomenal technician.
Absolutely.
I
mean, he made it on big news with his, Rivian repair and everything. He's got people shipping cars to him from North Carolina and all kinds of
California.
Whatever it takes, man.
That's awesome. I love it.
That's
good for our industry too.
It's exactly right. The legitimacy is for the industry, and people like that are making a difference. Bryce, what Bryce does, it makes a difference, man. And so you get on there, and then you got all these auto body guys that are hating on the situation, and it's our time at that point in time to say, hey, we know this guy. This repair is legit. You see it every day. That he does.
Bryce is good for the industry till that customer walks in. He's like, I seen this YouTube video and they're side swiped. I'm like, no, man, he's down in Florida. You have to call him.
Go see him, man. Go see him. I have said that before myself.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like the last video he just did. And the little bedside he did, and you can see the paint missing. Well, towards the end, one of the videos using the hot box or the power box on the outside, and I'd seen some foreign, I say foreign, but guys overseas doing that, but they sanded all the paint off and they're using the carbon rod on the outside of the panel. And Bryce is doing it, but just because the paint was missing there, so he was able to do it from the outside before he touched it up, tighten that up. I'm like,
my brain don't think that way.
Yeah.
When we did the training down there, it was funny. Me and Doug did the training the same time with Bryce, of course.
Why was Doug doing that? He's too old for that shit. He don't want to take on none of that.
And we had to carry him the whole time. It was so exhausting. We were trying to work and carry Doug, and it's just. But Bryce was, on that Rivian. We were there, helping him fix that Rivian. And I kid you not, guys. A lot of people don't know this, but we got done. Or got closer to the end because he put me and Doug on the buckle on it pretty good, and that thing was busted up pretty good. But he left one night and he said, "I'll be back in the morning at 3." This is what Bryce told us. Right? He said, "I got to work on this bedside because it got to be done by 5." True story. And we come back, and that next morning, that dude is laying on the ground. I'm not saying he doesn't have a lift. He doesn't have AC. Yeah. He's not sitting on a stool. He's laying on the ground, concrete floor, picking on this thing. He picked from the time that we got there. That was 8 a.m. And he said he got there at 4 instead of 3. At 5 p.m., he's still picking on that bedside. On the ground, guys. God. I'm 51 years old, bro. I'm not laying on some concrete for 12 plus hours picking on the bedside.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to move the whole next week. I'm just cramped up.
And then at 5, he said, it needs some more, so I'm going to spend another hour on it. And the customer wound up showing up around 7, and it was done. And you guys, a lot of people can say he doesn't do this and he doesn't do. Look, he puts the time in to get it right. He cares that much about it.
Amount of patience, more patience than I could ever imagine having my whole life. It's crazy.
He's 12 plus hours of picking on that bedside the last day, and I told Doug, I said, man, I'm too old for that. I can't do that. I got to have AC. I got to have a lift because I want that thing right here. I do not want to be laying on the ground doing that. But Bryce does it next day like a soldier. I'm like, man, I don't know how many years you can do this, brother, but you're doing it right now. I know that.
In his blue jeans and long sleeve shirts in Florida. I'm like, how?
Yeah. I mean, he knows what he's doing when it comes to, starting the repair, and he knows what he's doing. It's exactly right, Doug. He doesn't know quit. He's looking at stuff that people's like, bro, it's good. And he's like, nope, it's not. It needs to be finished. So it's a good lesson,
Right.
Yeah, he's amazing. Man.
Yeah, Matt, I'm zenning now. I hadn't had a cigarette since before MTE, so it's still not a great habit, but it's got me off smoking cigarettes. So
now, is that nicotine?
Yeah.
Or is it like one of the natural type?
No, it's just nicotine, no tobacco or whatnot. So I had to go for a couple of days without one because I was doing like a blood test or something for insurance. I was not a happy person, man. That can testify that. She was like, I can't wait for you to get this done so you get your shit. I was ill all the time.
That's good to see Matt Moore on here. Good
Oh
dude.
yeah, we
Love
love Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't talked to him in a while. I need to.
Been
I
so
hadn't talked
busy.
to a lot of people
I
in a
don't
while,
even need
man.
advice from him right now. I'm like,
So Matt, how's the family doing, man? How's everybody doing? You know,
man, coffee Zins are the best, hands down.
Well, man, it is. We're an hour and 5, so we went over. So it went fast. It went fast.
It flies.
It did, man. I appreciate you guys so much, man. You know,
absolutely.
And I know we could sit on here and talk forever, but we definitely have to get up. I've got to make. It's hard when we go visit my daughter. It's usually get there, spend a day, and come back, and it's hard to get away. I've told Corey, several times, try to get time to get over that way, but man, it just. I do have a question because I grew up going to Little Rock all the time. I don't know if you were ever into racing. If you ever heard of I-30 Speedway.
Absolutely.
In Little Rock.
Absolutely.
So I grew up going about 10 times a year.
Yeah.
With my
that old place is sort of legendary, man, when it comes to racing.
And still going. I thought it'd be condemned by now, but it's still going. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I didn't get involved in that a whole lot. I mean, I lived north of Searcy, so it was a little bit over driving. When you're severely poor, you didn't get to take those type of trips. But the little city of BB had one, and I think they even still got one, a little dirt track, which is pretty big. But yeah, I-30, it was legit.
I know growing up, and what I always remembered was the only time they threw a yellow flag is if it impeded, an accident impeded the actual traffic.
Wow.
Because the only wall was the front grandstand. And so off the back, I mean, the cars would fly off the back. They'd keep racing. Next thing you know, here comes that car jumping back up, get back in that sucker. I mean, it was crazy. And man, races wouldn't start till about 7, 8 o'clock at night. And we'd be there till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. By the time you leave there's so much red dirt, you're just covered.
Yeah.
From all, I mean, that's some of my best memories right there. But man, we'd go to Little Rock, we'd go to Hot Springs every time we went, and
Hot Springs is a nice area, man, for sure. Northwest is where it's at now. It seems to be Northwest Arkansas seems to be the premier area in the state for sure. It's where all the money's at, where all the growth is at. Little Rock's sort of turned into somewhat of a not so friendly place.
Close to Memphis. So what do you?
You could say a knockoff from Memphis. Yeah,
man. I tell you, the worst part of the trip, going and visiting or going to Searcy from here, is between Memphis and Searcy on the back road. That's 55 mile an hour. It's an hour and a half long road.
Highway 64.
Yes.
Where you go? Is it 64?
Yes.
That is a crap drive, man.
And if you go over that speed, I mean, it's like the one cop that
Barney fight.
Speed trap. Yep, for sure.
Well, anyway, man, we appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yeah.
Real quick, so because I'm still starting to promote this, November 16th. Tech meetup, toy drive. Y'all come down. Greg will be at the shop. You want to come up? You ain't far away.
Yeah.
Tell Doug's old ass to get on the plane, come out here. I'd love for him to see the shop.
Sounds good, man.
It's gonna be a blast.
It's always a blast, and several tool vendors always come. Usually Anson and Finesse and now Kiko.
Yeah. That'd be good, man. I'd do my best to try to come check
and
out. And
hanging out downtown Nashville. And stuff
everybody goes down there and party downtown. I'll go eat with everybody and I go home. I'm like, y'all have fun, kids.
Look, me and Stephanie went to Nashville a while back. She'd never been, and she's like, let's go back.
Yeah, it sucks now.
November.
It's a good time to go. By then, Razorbacks will be like 0-5, so it'll be going somewhere else.
Come on down, Stephanie. That'd be awesome.
Well, appreciate you coming on, brother. And
appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
No problem. And everybody that's been watching tonight and commenting, we love y'all to death, and we will hopefully have
figure it out next week.
We always figure it out last second. We haven't been too serious about it lately, but anyway, we'll have somebody on. We'll let everybody know, and if y'all want cool shirts and cool apparel, go to PDRapparel.com. Man, get you some good swag, especially before MTE. Anyway, appreciate it, brother. We'll see you.
Okay, brother.
Bye,
Y'all have a good
everybody.
one. See ya.